Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to day 2 of Unbecoming. This is a 5-day free training series all about unlocking your potential, rewriting your reality. Each day is really inspired by my brand new 4-month mastermind for high achieving women. It's a personal growth mastermind. So it's all about being able to manage and regulate your emotions and to be able to shift your subconscious thoughts and to make a change in your reality. If we are, and this is really what today is going to be about, if we are looking at what governs our reality, everything that is in the WoMastery mastermind is about identity, it is about subconscious thoughts, and it's about the nervous system regulation. So, specifically, today, what we're going to be looking at is a section that I've taken from this mastermind, that I've taken from my own framework, which, by the way, WoMastery equals woman mastery. And it is a framework that I have created that I use with all of my clients that over the years has just seen some amazing results. And a big part of that is really understanding the belief systems, understanding the narratives that you operate by. And this is what we're going to go into today. If you have not watched day 1, I highly recommend after this video, they do not need to be watched in order. But what I mentioned yesterday is they kind of link together one by one. Again, they don't need to be watched by order, but they all link together nicely. And all of the framework and concepts that I am teaching you over the next 5 days, I'm creating very short, concise, sharp videos that are going to get to the point, that are going to be very, very tangible. My goal is to have you listen to me, have you learn from me, but also go away from this video, from this live, and be able to integrate that into your life, be able to make a change in your life, because you can consume all of the personal development that you want. But if you are not integrating it into your life in some way, shape, or form, then there is an issue. So, from every single video, make sure that you are learning something brand new, or even taking a concept you already know, but then asking yourself, how am I bringing this into my life? How am I taking action on this? And you will start to see change. Like I said, this is taken from my framework that I've used for years and years over with hundreds of clients. The Will Mastery framework, it's my brand, inspired by my brand new mastermind. All of the details are in the show notes. And I'm so excited to share with you today's training. Is all about belief system. It's all about understanding the narratives that we are governed by. And I'm going to kind of go through a a visualization exercise that is also very tangible. It's going to make sense as we go along. So, if you think about ourselves, I think I mentioned this yesterday, neurologically, like neuroscience states that the way that we are wired, so the way that we are behaving, the way that we are thinking, the things that we are doing, how we wake up, our routines, our rituals, how we perceive ourselves, what we're doing in work, our business, our relationships, the way we react, the way that we are triggered, the way that we are managing things, it is rooted in ourselves from 90% of our past, 90% of our history. That is absolutely huge. Now, I'm going to share the analogy that I share with my clients that I really just want you to go away with, draw down in the way that you are taking this on board. And I really want you to start to think, how can, again, every single day, I'm going to keep saying this, how can you integrate this into your everyday life? So, when we think of our neural pathways, and I'm going to make this so simple, so it's not something where you leave this video and you're like, I do not know where to start, or that was more confusing than ever. So, our neural pathways are basically what are creating all of our habits, what are creating our routines, our rituals, everything I just mentioned. Now, if we are trying to change a habit, if we are trying to change who we are, the way that we perceive ourselves, we are trying to change how our life is forming. Like right now, this is just a side note. Right now, get really, really honest with how your current life is. Look at life as a whole, and then look at your career slash business. Look at your relationships, romantic, platonic, family. Look at your health and your wellness and your fitness. Look at your money, your investments, your wealth. Look at everything overall. And I want you to be really, really honest with yourself with how you feel about that area of your life. You can separate it, or you can just go into like 4 sections: career slash business, relationships, money, like finances, and then health. or wellness or both. But if you want to get really, really micro, which if you've never kind of done this before, I would absolutely recommend. It will just give a better understanding for yourself because this entire series is about you really reflecting and making a change. Then I would get really micro. So I would look at business. Maybe there's several different areas to your business, whether it's your content creation, then it's managing your team. Then I would look at relationships. I would look at romantic, friendship, platonic. You can break that down even more. Then health, wellness, fitness levels. Then finances can be the money you're making, the money you're investing, your wealth, whatever this may be. And I want you to rate exactly how you're feeling about each of those areas without your ego. So, one being not ideal, you're not really happy, you're feeling really low vibrational when it comes to this area of your life. 10 being, this is great. I'm living on purpose. I don't think it can get better. Hint, I don't believe that anyone will be at the 10. I don't think I've ever experienced a 10 because I believe that with this work, there is always room for more. That does not mean that we're tapping into this perfectionist way of doing things. It just means like aren't getting comfortable. A lot of people, and what I've seen, anyone who rates and says, it is a 10 out of 10, my relationship is not looking at ways they can improve their relationship with their significant other and ways that they can be better and way that they can progress together. Have you ever witnessed a relationship, whether it's your friends or just anywhere else, and you've just noticed they're really stagnant? They don't do a whole lot yet. They don't fight. They say they're happy and they get along, but deep down they're not progressing as a couple. They're not progressing as individuals. So that is just an example. I digress. What I want you to do is rate every area of your life, even if you have to pause this video at the moment, and just be honest. Your ego is going to want to tell you you're better than you are. But I find that this isn't about shaming ourselves. This isn't about judging who we are. There is no place in all of the work that I share with you over the next 5 days. There is no place to judge or shame yourself. What there is place for you to do is to be really, really honest with yourself. When you get hyper honest about where you are and what you were doing, you will then be able to get honest about how am I going to move forward? Am I going to be so productive about this? So that's the first thing I want you to do. Now, going back to the neuroscience, how we're wired neurologically, the neural pathways are creating different pathways in our brain that signify a way of doing something. Now, this is the analogy that I want you to work off. Now, let's say I'm describing the neural pathways. Let's say that there is a cafe up here that you want to get to, and your entire life, you have always driven down neural pathway A. It is easy. It's like when you drive a car to someone you've driven 1,000 times and you don't even remember driving the car, right? It's a bit of a dissociation. So you are always on neural pathway A. It's the easiest. There's no resistance. You've done it a million and one times. You know what to expect. You know what the traffic's like at different hours. The road, whether you go on a main road or a shortcut, the stop signs, where the roundabouts are, all of it. Now, imagine for some reason that road got shut down. And then we're looking at neural pathway B. That is the next way to get to the gym. It is probably going to bring up some resistance, or maybe even the first few times you were going to, did I say gym? I meant the cafe. You were going to the cafe, you start to go the other way, and then you realize, oh, wait, I can't, it's now blocked. So I need to go into the different pathway. This is exactly what happens when we start to make a change. The body, the nervous system, which the nervous system is going to come in the last few days of the training. But the nervous system goes into overdrive. It says, hey, we've been wired a certain way for a long time. SOS, this doesn't feel right. There's resistance. Now, when hearing this and understanding, if we take this example in like 3D reality, it's like, okay, you just get used to it and you keep driving. And it may be like, that's a simple fix, right? Maybe it takes a week for me to get used to get to the next cafe. And I keep saying gym, cafe. You guys know what I mean. Just up here, right? We're getting to some type of building. Now, I want you to take that as in, take it in, for that's how you are rewiring yourself to create a different neural pathway. A big part of that is repetition. Now, like I said, this is a really simplified version of understanding how we are wired and why we keep doing the same things. When we go on to day 4 and 5, be going into the nervous system and understanding the fight and flight and finding safety. But for now, what I just want you to understand is in the areas of your life that you're not very happy, in the areas that aren't 6 and above, at least 6.5 and above, at least, I want you to be really honest about what is the neural pathway thinking? What is the way you've always done something? What is the way you've always shown up? And then start to think, what is, now, this is a bit of a limiting belief, being able to dissolve our limiting beliefs. What is the opposite to that? If you were to do it the complete opposite, what does it look like? So again, going back to the analogy, take one of your ways that you are operating. You've always gone, if we're trying to get here, you've always gone path A. Now we are trying to go path B to create a different change, to create a different result. Maybe this could signify, this cafe from my analogy could signify a change in career, starting an online business, starting a brand new hobby, starting a new routine at the gym, starting Pilates instead of yoga. And I want you to be really, really honest with yourself. What's the resistance? Or maybe you have in mind things that have already come up that you're like, I have tried to change that. I've tried to shift my habits and it's just not working. Going back to what I said at the start of this video, at the start of this training and yesterday, we are wired 90% in our history. So, of course, it is going to take time. Repetition is absolute key, but we have to be so conscious about what is actually happening and get the different neural pathways to fire up. When we get the different neural pathways to fire up and we're repeatedly doing that and we're signifying that it is safe, we're signifying that it is an okay choice. It is a safe choice that I can do this, and we're feeding into the narratives behind that choice, then we will be able to see progression. Now, tomorrow I'm going to go definitely more into the limiting belief side, the narratives and the stories that we tell ourselves. But to really prime you and prep you, I want you to start to think about how you were wired neurologically with the different areas of your life. What pathway do you keep choosing, and what is a pathway that you want to choose, but you have resistance in choosing? And when you start to identify those two things, you can then start to make a plan of attack. And it's not good enough to think, okay, I want to stop smoking. So I'm going to just think that I'm not going to smoke and I'm just going to practice not buying cigarettes. Start to think of your triggers behind this. This goes into the habit loop, right? Start to think what really starts the neural pathways firing off. Are you putting yourself in a position that is going to create the old pathway to repeat itself? And when we understand that subconsciously we are actually every single day, again, bringing we are working from our history, so we're pulling from yesterday and the day before and the month before and the year before. We're pulling from all of that to know what to do. It is going to take some time to, it's quite literally building a new muscle. It is going to take some time to build the new neural pathway and to be able to fully accept that this is the way that I am operating. Now, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to go specifically into different limiting beliefs, into different ways of dissolving your limiting belief and understanding and bringing that into neutralization. Because without getting your subconscious mind on board, and this is why everything that I'm teaching in this training is linked, you need to get your subconscious mind on board to be able to understand that the self concept you are working towards, that is actually the story you were telling yourself. And then from there, what we'll go into the last few days is, okay, how are we finding safety in that? But how are we raising our capacity? How are we bringing this in, who we want to be, who we want to change into? But how are we also, we keep up leveling, and how do we work through these layers? Like I said, this framework, the WoMastery framework, it's connection, evolution, awareness. So connection, our identity; evolution, subconscious reprogramming; and awareness is our nervous system regulation. You master these three, you understand these three concepts for yourself. And every time that you feel like you're in the next up level, or you feel like you've hit a wall in your life, you go through these processes. They may seem so simple, but these are the most effective ones. A lot of people get caught up in, okay, what's a brand new hack, or what's a brand new technique, or a brand new tip that is going to get me the life I want, or the money that I want, or the business, or the relationships. When you get to the foundational things and you learn these foundational things and you implement them, and you integrate them, that was a tongue twister, then you are able to make consistent change. Consistency is everything. And it's probably something, if you're watching this, you have heard 1,000 times before, but it absolutely is. So go away, go first, rate the different areas of your life if you haven't already, and then start to think, what are my neural pathways? What am I currently doing on repeat? What is the feelings that it's giving me? What is the result, right? And is the result something that I am desiring? Have I outgrown this result that I keep going for? Then, what is a neural pathway that I want to drive down? What is a neural pathway that I want to take, that I want to strengthen, that I want to be able to consistently? My brain doesn't even think about it. You have probably made changes in your life before, and now you don't even think twice because it's so natural to you. It's something that is a part of you, it is embedded. So that needs to be evidence enough to know that you can make a shift, that you can make a change. But being able to link all of these things together will really help you understand, okay, what needs to come first? What am I actually changing? What means the most to me? This is why, from day one, when we went into your in between identity, that in itself is going to bring up a lot that is showing you the ways you are operating neurologically and everything that is wired in how you've always operated. So, I am so happy to be able to give you this analogy, this way of looking at things, and being able to, like I said, it's a simplified version stemming from my WoMastery Mastermind, but it is something that has changed the lives of many, many women, and diving deep into it. And of course, is linked to the next few days of Unbecoming. So, I hope to see you in day 3. Tomorrow, we are going to dive a bit more into subconscious reprogramming, dissolving our limiting beliefs, the things that are really governing us subconsciously. And I can't wait to see you. Bye.